Hello guys. Alright, so this is our last video of the week, and I'm going to go over the very last lesson of this unit, so that's exciting. But that means that on Monday Monday and Tuesday we're going to spend reviewing, and on Wednesday we're going to be testing. So you'll have one unit done, and then we'll have 7 more. So we're going to go ahead and start on page 15 of your notes. So go ahead and go to 15 of your notes. I know this is algebra, but this little lesson is called Geometric Applications because, like we did a few days ago in class where we looked at the triangles and the perimeters, we're going to be doing a little bit more of that today so that you can see how what we've been doing in class kind of relates to even geometric shapes. So let's look at the first part here. It says find the perimeter of the triangle. So if you know what a perimeter is, the perimeter is the total distance of the outside edges. Or if you look inside the word perimeter, you see the rim. See that word rim? That kind of helps us remember that it's the rim, like the rim of the shape. Like you would have the rim of a basketball goal, the circle. It's the rim of the shape. It's all the sides added up, okay? All right, so on this triangle, the measurements we get, one side is 4 plus n squared. Another side is 2m squared plus 3n squared. And then the last side, the third side, is 12 plus m cubed. Remember, if it has an exponent with the 3, we could say to the third, or we could say cubed. All right? So if a perimeter is adding all the sides up, then what do we need to do here? If you know the measurements of all the sides, what do you need to do? Hopefully you said add them up. That's correct. So we're just going to list them out and add them together. 4 plus n squared plus 2m squared plus 3n squared plus 12 plus m cubed. All right? So now, how can you solve this? If you think back to our second lesson of the year, or maybe it was our first lesson actually, I taught you how to combine like terms. Remember I said all terms have a first and a last name. If their number is their first name, and then if they have a letter or a variable, then that's their last name. So what we're going to do here is we're going to underline all the terms that have the same last names and group them together, and then we'll just add them up, and that will be our answer. So let's start with the numbers first, because that's what we see here first. We have just a regular 4 and a regular 12. So we could take those and add those together. So 4 plus 12 is what? 16. Okay? So we know we're going to have a 16 as our part of our answer. 16. And I'm just going to go ahead and mark those out so that you know you're done with those. Next, we have n squareds. So do you see any n squared terms that have the last name n squared? We have 1n squared, and we're here is 3n squared. So we're going to add those together. Remember, if it doesn't have a first name, there's no number, we understand that that's just 1. So 1n squared plus 3n squared is going to give us 4n squared. So now we have in our answer, we have 16, and then we're going to add that 4n squared. All right, next we have the m's. M squared. We only have one m squared term. Why can't we add this one at the end? It's an m, but it's m to the third power. That's a different family. So we can't add things together that are not in the same family. So we're just going to say, since that's our only one, we're just going to add just the 2m squared there. And then lastly, oh, I forgot to mark these out for you. We're just left with that 1m cubed at the end, so we're just going to leave that just like it is. So this is our answer. This is the perimeter of the triangle. Okay? And that's how we figure that out. We just simplify that. We combine the like terms. Number 2 says, find the total area of the rectangles. Okay, now we're talking about area. So area in a rectangle is length times width. Okay? Length times width. All right, you should remember this from years before. So they want us to find the area of the total area of the rectangles. Well, we don't really need to use length times width here because they've already given us the area. The area of rectangle number 1, the big rectangle, is 4x squared minus 5x plus y plus 2. Okay, so I know that's weird. We don't normally see area written like that, but that's what they're giving us. And the second rectangle is smaller. Its area is 13x minus 8. Well, if they want us to find the total area, total means we're going to add them together. So over here, all I'm going to do is just list the area that they give us for each one. 4x squared minus 5x plus y plus 2. And then we're going to add to that the other rectangle, plus 13x minus 8. Okay, so if we found the total perimeter up there by combining like terms on the first one, what do you think we need to do on this one? We need to do the same thing. So we'll go ahead and start with our x squareds. Do you see any other x squared terms? Nope. So we're just going to keep that 4x squared there. Now let's move on to our x terms. We have a negative 5x, and remember this minus sign attaches to that 5, so it becomes a negative 5x. And we have a 13x. So when you have negative 5x plus 13x, when you add those together, you get 8x. So now we have 8x as part of our answer. Let's move on to the y's. We only have one y, so we're just going to move that down to our answer. And then finally, we're left with the remaining parts are just regular numbers. They have no last name. So we have a positive 2 and a negative 8. So 2 plus negative 8 is going to give us negative 6. So we're going to add that minus 6, negative 6 to the end. You could have said plus a negative 6. That's the same thing as minus 6. So that's actually going to be our answer. All we did was just added them together and simplified. We combined those like terms. Remember, if I go too fast, you can always pause, catch up, and then, resume the video. Find the area and the perimeter. So we're doing area and perimeter of the rectangles below. So first, let's find the area. So how do we find area again? Area of a rectangle is length times width. This time, they don't give us the area, so we actually have to do that multiplication. So in this one, it's going to be area equals 5 times 3x plus 4, right? We're just multiplying them together. Well, we've done that in class. That's called distributing, when you have parentheses here. So when you distribute, you take the number in front of the parentheses and you multiply it by everything inside the parentheses. So we have 5, and we're going to multiply that by the 3x. We get 15x. And then 5 times 4 is 20. So 15x plus 20 is our area. Okay? So we're going to write that down here. 15x plus 20. You could have done 20 plus 15x. It's the same thing. Perimeter. Perimeter equals all the sides added up. So here we have perimeter equals 5 plus 3x plus 4. But remember, a rectangle doesn't just have 2 sides. It has 4. So we actually have to do that again. Alright? So we're going to say 5 plus 3x plus 4 plus 5 plus 3x plus 4. Alright? Now really, if you want to make this shorter, you could rewrite this to be 2 times 5 plus 3x plus 4, right? Because that's what we're doing, is we're multiplying. We're taking two sets of the 5 plus 3x plus 4. And really, we could even make this even simpler, because we have, inside those parentheses, we have two numbers, the 5 and the 4. You just add those together. So we could find our perimeter by saying 2 times 9 plus 3x. And I got that 9 by adding the 5 and the 4 together. Because they're just regular numbers, we can combine those like terms inside that parentheses. So now, let's just go ahead and distribute that 2. 2 times 9 is 18. And 2 times 3x is 6x. So our perimeter of the rectangle is 18 plus 6x, or 6x plus 18. Alright, so I know that might have been a lot for one problem, so let's do one more. We have the area. Area is length times width. So here we have 12 times 2x squared plus 4x minus 8. So let's go ahead and distribute that 12. And this is our first time to distribute a 3-term parentheses. Okay, we usually just have 2 terms in there, but this time we have 3, but it's just the same thing, just have a third term. So 12 times 2x squared is going to give us 24x squared. 12 times 4x is 48x. And 12 times a negative 8 is a negative 96. Okay, so now we have the area. We could just write that down here. The answer, 24x squared plus 48x minus 96. Okay, and now we need to figure out the perimeter. So remember, we add the sides together and multiply by 2, because there's 2. We have all this again. So we have 2 times 12 plus 2x squared plus 4x minus 8. Sorry, I ran out of room there. So go ahead and simplify if you have anything to combine inside that parentheses, like the 12 and the minus 8. So I'm going to rewrite that up here, actually, because I'm running out of room. So 2 times 12 minus 8 is 4, okay, plus 2x squared plus 4x. Alright, so now we can distribute that 2 into the parentheses. 12 times 4 is 8. 12 times 4. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 2x squared is 4x squared. And 2 times 4x is 8x. And that's your perimeter. Alright, and then number 4 says, what is the total area? Total means adding them up of the 2 rectangles from problem 3. So we are just going to add up this area and this area. So we're just basically going to be combining like terms. 15x plus 20. Alright, and then we're going to add that to this area, 24x squared plus 48x minus 96. So let's go ahead and combine our like terms. Let's do our x terms first, since those are just listed first. 15 and a 48x, 15 plus 48 is going to equal 63x. So we have 63x. And let's do our regular numbers. We have 20 minus 96. That's going to give us a negative number of negative 76. So minus 76. And then we have 1x squared term plus 24x squared. And that is your answer. We just combined the like terms and added those up. Okay? So tomorrow in class, we're going to be looking at, for the warm-up, we're going to be doing a few of these simplifying. They're just distributing and then combining like terms. But we're going to do a few of those in our warm-up. But I do want to show you one as an example. So on this one, we're just simplifying. So that means you need to distribute first if you can. And distribute means if you see the parentheses, you multiply everything inside by the number in front. And then 2, combine like terms. That's what simplifying is. So I'll do number 1 for you really quickly. We're going to distribute this 3 first. 3 times negative 4x is negative 12x, and 3 times 7y is 21y. And then on this side, we had this minus sign has to go with this 3. So this becomes a negative 3 that you're multiplying inside this parenthesis set. Negative 3 times 2 is negative 6. Negative 3 times 3y is a negative 9y. And all we do now is combine our like terms. We distributed, now we combine them. Do we have any other x terms? Nope. So we're just going to pull that one down for our answer. Our y terms we can combine. We have a 21y and minus 9y, and that gives us 12y. So plus 12y in our answer, and then just that minus 6. And that's our answer. So tomorrow in class, whenever you come in, you're going to be doing number 2 and 5 for warm-ups. So remember, just combine your like terms. Distribute and then combine your like terms. So down here, you're going to distribute this negative 2 and then combine all your like terms. And then in number 2, you're going to distribute the 5 and the 3 and then combine your like terms. Okay, have a good night.